Greetings to all. Welcome to the Python programming course. And this is most interesting part of our course, jumping to programs, part 1. So in all the jumping to programs sessions, we are going to use our Python compiler and we are going to uh, write many programs. We are going to code in real time for from smaller ones to larger scenarios. We'll quickly go into it, right? Yes. I'll open my Python console and I'm having my Python window open, that is IDLE, right? So we are ready with our console and we will remember that we have completed our programming constructs. If we know how to use our if statement, else statement, if else, nested if, everything. So before having those things on mind in theoretical part, let us go into the programming side and try to understand how they can be used in Python programming, right? So we'll go with a very basic programming like finding the finding whether the given number is even or odd. So this is very simple program, finding whether the given number is even or odd. So now I'm saying whether the given number. So I need to get an input. So how to get the input? I know that the input function can be used to get the input. I say num is equal to input of enter a number. Right? By this way, I get an input. Num is equal to input of enter a number. So what will happen? My compiler will ask me enter a number. Now I'll give an input as an integer. So what I say, I'm going to give an input as an integer. But this input function will get the input only as a string data type. What is string? A word, a collection of characters. Like that only it will get the input. So if I want to get it as an integer, that is a number, then I need to put int input of. I just enclose the entire statement inside int. So num is equal to int of input enter a number. So now then what I say, now I need to check whether the given number is even or odd. We know that if a number is divisible by 2, then it is even number. And if the number is not divisible by 2, it is odd number. So I say, I go for a construct called as control statement if num modulo 2. So what is modulo? Modulo operation will give me the remainder after division. If num modulo 2 equal to 0, this is double equals represent comparing. Whether this operation is equal to 0 means that they are perfectly dividing each other. I put a colon. That is what the syntax, right? If some condition colon, then I use a tab space. This tab space is very important. If you didn't leave this tab space, then you will get an error. Python is extremely sensitive with tab spaces. Okay. Now, if num mod 2 is equal to 0, what I say? I say print num is, I just say num. What is num? Num is the given number. Num is even. I didn't enclose num with double quotes. Why? Because it is going to be a value, right? It is a variable whose value need to be substituted here. So whatever value I give here, that value gets substituted in this num, right? Then I say is in even number. Then this is simple if statement. If I want to have an else, what is else part? If the above condition is not satisfied, I can go for an else part. And we know that for a control statement, I can have any number of else part for a single if, but I cannot have an else part without a single if. So that's what an important thing to understand. Else print num is odd number. So if it is not in an even number, it is an odd number, right? So what I will do, we will save the program. That is, we can save it in any program, so save it as .py, even not .py. That's why we save the program. Now how to run it? Just to say run. So I'm having run module F5. If I click this, the program will run. Otherwise, you can use the keyboard's button F5. If you click F5, the program will run. I just say run module F5. Now I'll share my output screen. See how the output is achieved. Now the program is being displayed here. Now enter a number. I enter the number 5. So whether 5 is an even or odd number? 5 is a odd number. So it is saying 5 is odd number. 5 is odd number. So this is how the if and else statement will work in our Python programming. Right? This is how our if and else statement will work. So this is the concept number 1. Now we will go into another programming. Now we saw how that if and else will work. Now if I want more than one if and more than one else part, that is if else ladder. So we will go for such a programming. So I'll open another screen. So to explain more on this particular Python environment, I'll open another Python programming shell here. So what I'm going to use is I'm going for a nested if operation. So what I'm going to do? Now I'm going to develop a grade calculation, student grade calculation program. I'm going to use a student grade calculation program. So what is student grade calculation? Assume that I'm having a mark, right? So assume that I'm having a mark of 3 subjects and I need to average it, and then if the mark is greater than a particular value, say 90, I gave S grade. If it is greater than 80, between 80 and 90, I should say A grade. Between 70 to 80, I say B grade, and so on. This is how the student grade calculation will be there. Now, for this small example, we will use the average of 3 subjects to give grade. If the average is greater than 90, I'll give S grade. Like that, we will do a program. So what I will do, I will say mark 1. How to get input? Input of enter mark 1. Right now, I named mark 1 as integer. So I say int input of. I say int input of. Next, mark 2. Mark 2 is equal to int input of. So what I say? Enter mark 2. Mark 3 is equal to int input of enter mark 3. Now I got 3 marks. Now what I should do? I should take average of these 2 marks, these 3 marks. So what I will do? I'll take a total. Total mark is equal to mark 1 plus mark 2 plus mark 3. This is total mark. Then what I will do? I'll take average. Average mark is equal to total mark divided by 3. Average mark is equal to total mark divided by 3. Right? Everything is going very simple, right? So far so good, right? So now I go for my programming construct. If average mark is greater than 90, if average mark is greater than equal to, even 90 is an S grade, right? So average is greater than equal to 90, I say print S grade, sorry, S grade. Right now I'm going for else. I cannot say all the other are actually fail. There are another conditions to check. Else I need to use another if condition. So in this case, what you use is elif. This is called as elif ladder. If a particular condition is satisfied, you print this S grade. I have another condition. You check whether that condition is satisfied or not. What is that condition? Average mark is greater than or equal to 80, and means what? You have to check both the condition, and average mark less than 90. If it is greater than or equal to 80 and less than 90, that is from 80 to 89, if it is there, then what you should print? Print A grade. Next, whether it is top? No, I have several conditions. I have other grades also. I say average mark is greater than or equal to 70 and average mark less than 80. That is from 70 to 79. I check and say print it is B grade. Next, I go for another condition. It's going to be LF ladder, right? Mine, I have many LF, can have many things. Finally, I should conclude with an else, right? Until then I can go on, right? Then I say it is 62, 69, average mark less than 70. So less than 70 means 70 is not included up to 69. Print the grade is C grade. Then what else grade I have? LF, average mark. What is the next one? Greater than or equal to 50 and so to be more nice, I'll give some spaces. So just for beautification, that's it. So average mark less than 60. That is from 50 to 59. I say it is D grade. Next, I have one more condition, that is average mark greater than or equal to 40 and average mark is less than 50. In this case, what I should do, I should give him the particular student a E grade. Else, so sorry, if it is even more less, that is if it is less than 40, I should give him 5. Print 5. That is, if none of the condition is satisfied, then it means that it is going to be less than 40. I say it is failed. Now what I should do? Save the program. Grade dot py. I save it using some name dot py. Right. So give a valid name, good name. Now I go for run F5. Run F5. What it will do? It will run the program. I say run F5. So I'll get my output screen. And yes, I got my output. It is asking me enter mark 1. I say mark 1 is 92. Enter mark 2. Mark 2 is 86. Say enter mark 3. It is asking me the third mark. I say for example, it is 79. So it is saying A grade. Whether it is correct, 92 plus 6, 98, 178. 248 to 57 divided by 3, it is around 80 something, right? So surely it is an A grade score, right? Now we got an grade calculation. The ultimate, what we are actually discussing is how to use the control statement. So what is control statement? A decision maker. So if you see this particular program, I'll go to my program one more time. If you see here my program, starting from here, the input prays to here. Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 3, total mark, average mark, all these statements are executed. But when coming to the control statements, so what is control statements? It is actually the deciding statement which says which one of the following lines should execute. If you see, when out of these all the statements S, A, B, C, D, E fail, only one statement is going to execute. Which condition is satisfied, that particular statement alone will execute. And if the A grade is executed, then none of the other condition is going to be checked. So this is how the control statements will behave. So only they are actually called as decision making statements. They decide which statement should execute. How they decide? They have the condition. They have the condition. Based on that condition, a particular statement will execute. Right? Now we are very clear on how if statement will execute. That is called simple if. If else, we know how to use if else statement. Then we know if LF statements. That is LF ladder. We can also have if, and inside that I have another if and so on. I can make any kind of things like that also. So this is with respect to the controlled statements. Yes. Thank you.